एरिया इनक्लेव के ऐन वस्त में मदीना मॉल एंड रेजिडेंसी, मरगला के पहाड़ों के हसीन व्यू लिए वर्ल्ड क्लास बेहतरीन फैसिलिटीज और एमिनिटीज के साथ 2 और 3 बेडरूम के सुपर लग्जरी लाइफस्टाइल अपार्टमेंट और शॉपिंग मॉल। हर अपार्टमेंट विला जैसा रोशन और कुशादा। बुकिंग और तफसीलात के लिए अभी कॉल करें।
मैं अपने ओवरसीज़ पाकिस्तानी बहनों और भाइयों के लिए ला रहा हूँ एक शानदार प्रोजेक्ट मदीना मॉल एंड रेजिडेंसी। तफसीलात के लिए रब्ता कीजिए शराज बदर 5198078771। ईमेल कीजिए shiraz@propertybrothers.com।
Are you concerned about your future? We invite you to consider Option Canada.
I'm a former Canadian immigration officer and a senior case analyst, and I've served the Canadian government for 16 years. I provide accurate assessment on every case, and I'll be happy to assist you in making Canada your home.
For the past 26 years, we have assisted professionals, business people, senior managers, and the self-employed worldwide to relocate to Canada. We can help you and loved ones back home live the Canadian dream.
Do it once, do it right.
You're watching Behind the News with Halima Sadia. Today we will be talking about India-Canada relationship in context of Minister of Punjab, Dr. or Captain Amrinder Singh's strong statement alleging Canada not doing enough to stop Khalistanis who are using Canadian soil against India. So I am joined in my studio with 2 political commentators, Tahir Gora and Dr. Sharda. I welcome you both in my studio today. So we will start with the tweet which was done by Tahir Gora. So what is your take on that?
Yeah, I actually retweeted, in fact, Times of India tweet day before yesterday. That tweet was about a strong statement by Captain Amrinder Singh, Chief Minister Punjab. He actually criticized Canada and he gave a very strong statement. He actually in that statement asked central government, Prime Minister Modi's government to mount global pressure against Canada, because he thinks that despite his efforts of reaching out to Canadian government, according to his analysis, according to his intelligence information, is not doing anything when it comes to Canada curbing extremist violent ideology by Khalistani movement. So that is a kind of a big news, I would say. It is a big thing, big shift, I would say, again in terms of relationship between India and Canada. We need to remember this thing for sure, that India is a friend of Canada. India has never been enemy country to Canada. So I think Canadian Liberal government needs to address concerns raised by Chief Minister Punjab, Captain Amrinder Singh, as well as Indian government. And when Justin Trudeau was visiting India last year, it was a big and hot issue. And it looks like, according to this recent statement, that Canadian government has not addressed anything in that regard.
So Dr. Sahab, I'll come to you. How do you see that and what is your take on this?
You see, Captain Amrinder Singh became a Chief Minister only 2.5 years earlier. But before that, Modi government was pressing upon Canadian government that there is a movement going on, you should look into that. And when even the so-called government report came, there also it was very clear. They said, yes, there is a danger from this particular community, which I personally don't like, the whole community. But yes, there is definitely a good percentage of people who are thinking of becoming violent and create violent movement which was there in 90s with the help of ISI and Pakistanis. Now the question is, when Defence Minister Sajjan went alone to India, Chief Minister refused to meet him. That's number one. Number two, the worst flop tour of any Prime Minister in the world was of 5 days Justin Trudeau's visit to India. And it was a clear indication from the government of India as well as from the Punjab government, because Punjab government, Amarinder Singh, right from the day one, is talking about Khalistani movement. And Halima ji, here I would like to add one word, that this was due to this particular issue. Although Justin Trudeau met with the Chief Minister, Captain Amarinder Singh, in Amritsar for half an hour, and in that there were 4 ministers along with Sajjan also. And there also, those people who were present there, they said very clearly, Captain Amarinder Singh told him that there is a movement, you should try to take care of it. The answer was given, which is a common answer by the Canadian government to everyone, that we cannot stop anyone from expressing their views. But I wonder, when you say yes, we have to pick up the so-called a movement which will fight with the Indian government. Where is that peaceful?
So giving somebody right to speak is different, but those elements which provoke the sentiments and which are having the potential of a very big fight, they should not be allowed.
You see, basically all the politicians, I don't care whether it is liberal or conservatives. Here also, the liberals, the conservatives, when they won the elections in Ontario, they chose 2 candidates which are pro-Khalistanis.
No, before coming to conservative part, on the other hand, we have to look into our Canadian intelligence agencies report. They are very clear on this issue. I would like to quote here a couple of paragraphs from CSIS report. Quote, within Canada, threat-related activities primarily targeting India and committed by a small number of Canada-based extremists who support violent means to establish an independent state within India have continued. One statement. I like to quote 1 or 2 more paras in that regard. However, quote, however, there has been an increase in observed threat activity wherein Canada is being used as a base to support this view as well as attacks targeting India. And last quote I would like to mention here from CSIS report. These activities constitute a threat to the security of Canada. Canada must contribute to the international community's efforts to prevent violent attacks from happening in any country. What does that mean? Canada Security Intelligence Service and RCMP, they are wonderful agencies. They understand the level of threat. They are saying very clearly that this is the level of threat. But unfortunately, this political liberal government is not addressing its own intelligence agencies' concerns. That is my concern.
But Tahir Sahib, you have to realize that our Prime Minister, what people say, which I also feel, is being surrounded by the ideology of those people who believe in Khalistan. When the party head is surrounded by and advised by those people, naturally his psyche is a little different. He is very, very, I would say, friendly to these kind of individuals.
So
that's number one. Mm-hmm. You have seen the big processions where there is openly Khalistan and openly other, those people who have given a very rough time in Punjab in 90s, their photographs and everything, and their Prime Minister goes there and addresses them. So the question is whether we should expect anything from this kind of government or not. Very clearly, they don't care, and they know it. It is being supported by ISI. I mean, few Khalistanis don't have their own resources to go and fight there. Unless and until they are being trained in Pakistan, sent from the Pakistan border in India and go and fight there, which
And
happens.
ISI elements are here to support Khalistani in Canada, and that's a big concern for Canadian government.
But they don't care.
I mean, Canadian government, when it comes to Canadian government, political government don't care, but actually establishment and intelligence agencies are concerned.
So if they are concerned, and we are talking about liberals, let's come to the conservatives. The conservative Senator Salma Ataullah, she spoke very clearly in favor of Khalistanis.
Here I need to correct it. She didn't spoke very clearly. She actually clapped. She clapped and she praised Khalistani leaders, strong rhetoric about independent state in India. Here in Canada, when he was speaking, when he was invited, Dr. Sharda was talking about ISI's involvement. Here is a clear proof. In August, Pakistan celebrated its Independence Day here in Canada too. So Pakistani High Commission in Ottawa asked Salma Ataullah Jan to have a big hall in Parliament Hill. So Salma Ataullah Jan, being the senator
Of Canada.
of Pakistani origin as well, arranged a big venue for Pakistani High Commission. So Pakistani, and we need to remember, Pakistani High Commission cannot do anything without help of ISI. So now that event is happening in Canadian Parliament. Okay, over there, Pakistani High Commission invited couple dozens supporters of independent so-called Khalistan
Movement.
Khalistan country, so-called, in India. So they invited. Okay. So that means Pakistan's High Commission is clearly inviting them in the parliament. That means they are behind it. Okay. Now the Khalistani leader spoke very clearly in that event that we need independent state. They even called Prime Minister Narendra Modi a disgusting guy. It happened in August this year. Actually, last year. My apology. Actually, it happened on the. Actually, let me correct myself. It happened in actually March this year. It was not August event, because in March, Pakistani do sort of a Yom-e Pakistan Day. You know. So this happened this year, and in that event, Senator Salma Ataullah Jan clapped for about a minute over Khalistani leader's speech. What does that mean? I think we should ask producer to show that video.
Let's have a look at the clip where Senator Salma Ataullah Jan is clapping on Khalistani leaders' remarks against India.
I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to our own Canadian Senator, Salma Ataullah Jan. Salma Ataullah Jan ਨੂੰ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਫੇਰ ਮੇਰਾ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਕਰਦਾ ਕਿ ਪਾਕਿਸਤਾਨ ਰੈਜ਼ੋਲੂਸ਼ਨ ਡੇ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਮੌਕੇ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੋ ਭਾਈਚਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਇਕੱਠਾ ਕੀਤਾ। ਸੋ ਤੀਸਰਾ ਜੋ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਗੁਲਾਮ ਬਣਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦਾ ਉਹ ਦੇਖ ਲਵੇ ਕਿ we have joined hands. Canadian Sikh community is much more closer to Pakistan than any other country in that area.
So, Dr. Saab, you have watched the clip and you have listened what he has said. So, what's your take on that?
Simple, very clearly, that both of the main parties, some or the other, are not very serious about these kind of movements. In Canada, I don't care if they are in their own countries, but while staying in Canada, being the citizen of Canada, some people are born here and they are still involved with that movement, it clearly shows that the government as such are not very serious. In fact, as Tahir said, that it shows indirectly they are perhaps supporting it. So that's why today this gentleman, the Prime Minister of Canada, is totally isolated in the world politics, and if at all he has a friend, he has only one friend in the name of Mr. Macron, the President of France. I don't think he has any other friend left in. And if the Prime Minister doesn't have the friend, that means we are here helping all those elements which are trying to create destruction in their own countries, whether in Pakistan, whether in India or somewhere else. So what exactly we come to know, that the Conservative Party senator clapping these people, that means, as Tahir said, that this function, I know, this function was organized with the help of Khalistanis and the embassy, but this was in the honor of Pakistan embassy people and the Consul General here, but it was a clear message through ISI that we are going to create problems. If you can stop us, stop us.
So we have, viewers, we have some more clips regarding this event. So we would like to share it with you. Let's have a look at that.
It's far more moving when a stateless nation comes and says Happy Pakistan to a nation that already has their home. So एक बार फिर मैं तुहानू एक स्टेटलेस नेशन का नुमाइंदा होने के नाते कहना चाहना हैप्पी पाकिस्तान डे। तो मैं आस करदा कि एक दिन तुसी भी सानू हैप्पी खालिस्तान माफ करना खाली थामा डे जरूर कह सको। I was told not to mention that, so I just forgot. Imran Khan has brought new way of politics to the world. दुनिया को हैरान करने वाली चीज है वो साढ़े सामने लेके आई है। पुलवामा अटैक तो बाद दो दुनिया के लीडर बोले, एक नूं लोकां ने थू थू कहा ते दूसरे नूं लोग कहंदे ने लोग पीस।
So I'll come to you, Tahir. As you have seen the clips,
Yes.
What is your take on them?
It's very clear, as we were talking about liberal government's failure to understand this grave issue. On the other hand, the second largest party of this country is also unable to understand this grave issue. I mean, Conservative Party of Canada. I mean, if the senator of Conservative Party of Canada is clapping on senseless remarks of a Khalistani leader, and then Conservative Party is not condemning the senator, is not issuing an apology, is not, doing a strong statement against this senator. What does that mean? Means Conservative Party herself is on board. And also there is another point. Look at the gentleman Khalistani. He might have rights to say these things because we share our country together. He's Canadian, I'm Canadian. But he should think that he is saying these words under the banner of Mr. Jinnah, who is the cause of division of Punjab, who was the cause of murders of over 1 million people in Punjab. Is that gentleman and his supporters a true Khalistani? I like to ask them the question, are they true followers of beautiful religion Sikhism? I doubt. If they would have been, they would have not been sharing a stage where Jinnah's pictures are there where ISI is doing all that event. So this is a sad state of affairs. So it's not just Liberal Party's fault. It's a fault of Conservative Party as well. Conservative happened to be in the government. Dr. Sharda just mentioned that when they were in the government, when they were asked that why there is sort of a Khalistani ideas in Canada, they always said we have a free environment. I understand. That's why we love our beautiful country. Canada is a beautiful country. We give freedom of expression. But freedom of expression is something else. Diplomatic norms are something else. And hatred remarks are not acceptable. Violent ideology is not acceptable. So if our politicians do not understand fine line between these two things, then they are leading Canada not to good direction.
So Dr. Saab, I'll come to you already. And my question is, when we see both the parties are not being aware of the depth maybe, or they are ignoring it, so where do you think we are leading Canada towards? How the politicians are leading Canada towards?
Number one, they both are in the same bathtub. Number two, they are killing the democratic setup of Canada, which was given to us by Pierre Trudeau, the father of the gentleman, charter rights and other things. But this gentleman has totally destroyed it. It is going towards that. And I'm very sorry to say that today, three main political parties, NDP, Liberal and Conservatives, they have gone, instead of reasoning and logic in democracy, they have gone into the vote bank. They have started pleasing the communities rather than as Canadians. They have started pleasing them as Pakistanis, as Punjabis, as Indians, as other communities, which is not a good sign for the democracy in any country. And I feel very sad that these three main political parties are today going away from the natural principles of the democracy. And natural principles of the democracy tell only one thing, that is that we have to work for the country, come with the policies and not go for the vote bank. This is what the democracy is. But we have seen it. This Canada has become the same as Pakistan, as India and other parts of the world. I'm talking of the developing countries, which is a very, very sad chapter for the future.
So what would you like to share regarding this, that the current situation is of the political parties? How, as a commentator, would you like to comment upon the situation?
Sadly, as Dr. Sharda said, I agree with him that unfortunately our main political parties are doing politics of appeasement and ghettoization. They need to come out of this thing. Yesterday, Tariq Fatah has written a very beautiful column in The Sun addressing the same issue. All these parties are after ethnic vote banks. All these three parties, they are encouraging directly or indirectly ghettoization. And we South Asians moved to Canada, migrated to Canada with a hope of having better life and quality politics. Unfortunately, these three main political parties are orchestrating communal and religious politics, which has been rejected by Indians in recent India's election. And Prime Minister Modi actually proved there that it could happen without going into communal and religious lines. But unfortunately, this is not happening here in Canada. We are going on backward direction, and this is a sad state of affairs, absolutely.
Votelization, let's give a new word today. This is the votelization of the communities, of the certain sects, and it is a sad thing that these kind of politicians, whether they are at the local level, at the municipal level, or in the provincial level, or at the federal level, they are succumbing to the extreme demands And I have seen 2 years back and what happened in the Peel County regarding the school structures, which are supposed to be only for education, but we are succumbing to them, and maybe one day Sharia law or other things may happen here, you never know.
So democracy is basically the process for promoting the thought process, intellectual debate about different ideas to maneuver a healthy society. So we have to be conscious that how much our political parties are going after those debates, intellectual process, or they are going to the vote banks. That is eventually going to affect the social system we are living in, as you guys have mentioned. I thank you both for joining me today. So with these words, thank you very much for watching Behind the News with me today, and we will be back again. Keep watching.